The Weekly Shonen Jump has released a brand new series, and you'll be surprised to know that it is a Exorcist series. So yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a new Exorcist series on Weekly Shonen Jump. Been about what, a couple of days. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Weekly Shonen Jump and Exorcist series, but they keep pumping them out like crazy. I think they're probably trying to find like the next Jujutsu Kaisen, Bleach, Demon Slayer, something along those lines. So they're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. I know a lot of people are pissed off about that. I'm totally okay with it because I love Exorcist stories. So, hey, you keep throwing them out there, I'll keep reading them. But I completely understand people being annoyed with this. So this is Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi, and it is by Shoichi Usui. Probably completely butchered that. But the premise is the most powerful exorcist in history, Kiyoshi. In order to protect that which is precious to him, Kiyoshi has attained ultimate strength. But he has a secret he can't tell anyone. Become a sword that slays evil. Become a shield that protects the weak. It all comes together in this new dramatic Exorcist battle comedy series. We start off this series with a panel that straight up looks like something out of Soul Eater. Especially like just like the coloring, the design, and even the moon. Like as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this looks like Soul Eater. But this is our main character. He's a young man dressed all in black and covered in tattoos. And you see this guy and you think, oh, it's going to be like a super edgelord, right? This is going to be like a really just cringe kind of main character, especially when you get his backstory. His backstory is basically that he witnessed his family being killed by demons. And so he's not necessarily on a quest for revenge, but he's on a quest to make sure that no one ever feels the same way that he did ever again. Kind of like Batman. And like Batman, you think, okay, Batman's super broody. This character's going to be super broody too, right? Especially when we get to see more of him. Like the very first thing that we see of him is him just sitting in the chair with this like stone cold look on his face as he's staring down at this ghost with knives trying to stab at him. And that's when Kiyoshi reveals his secret. And the secret is that he is one of the best exorcists ever. Like he graduated, he was a valedictorian, he has incredible abilities, the youngest to ever graduate from the Exorcist Academy. He's only 16 years old and he's just, everyone's like, this guy has a future as an exorcist. If he continues, he's going to go down in history as the greatest exorcist ever. But his secrets is that he's terrified of demons. So when we first see him, he has like this aura of like calmness and sternness, and like he kind of radiates this like terror. So like when demons see him, they think, oh, this guy is just like super badass. He even just completely bluffs demons. Like he sits down in this chair and he just stares at it and he's like, come on, bring it. He's like, that's basically his one weapon, is that he's able to project an aura of superiority, and it causes demons to kind of falter. And they don't know like if they should attack this guy or not, because this guy like he comes across as super badass. But yeah, he's completely terrified. And we just have like this like funny moment where I've been doing this for 2 hours, staring at this creature. I gotta pee really, really bad. And I don't know what's wrong with me, but seeing this ghost drooling so much, especially knowing that it comes from this cute girl, for some reason I'm kind of into it. What's wrong with me? And then the ghost is like, you haven't done anything in 2 hours. Are you scared? And our main character's like, oh, crap. It called my bluff. It knows that I'm completely terrified. The ghost basically starts laughing. It's like, oh my god, you're a pathetic exorcist. Like, why did you even bother coming here, pansy? Like a exorcist who's scared of demons? You're useless. And then Yoshi starts crying. He's like, you didn't have to be so mean. Why'd you have to say all those words? And now the tension is completely broken and I can't stop crying. And the ghost is like, well, why don't you just stop being an exorcist then if you're scared of demons? He's like, come on, look at me. And he like pulls off his jacket, revealing a bunch of tattoos. He's like, this is an evil warding tattoo. Like, I got this and there's no taking it back. Like, this is just sad. Like, I thought I was going to be like this super cool exorcist. While I was going through school, I bought into the hype. So I just like tattooed myself up. And now like, there's no way that I can go live a regular job. Not with all these. I can't even visit public baths. And the ghost is trying to calm him down. It's like, dude, it's okay. Like, there are some public baths that accept tattoos. And he's like, really? And the ghost is like, yeah, but I got a question. What's up with the tattoo on your back? And he's like, oh, it's kind of an ironic challenge, right? Like I'm telling demons to come get some. It's 666, the devil's number. Pretty cringe, huh? And the ghost is just like, the tattoo you have on your back, it's not a 666. It's actually a 777. And so Kiyoshi starts like crying some more, and the ghost is like, "Oh man, now I feel bad for pointing out the tattoo." And yeah, Kiyoshi just basically starts bashing his head on the desk, and the ghost is like trying to stop him from hurting himself. So we basically just do like a complete flip, where Kiyoshi goes in there to like exorcise this demon, but he's so terrified and he's so like just he sees himself as completely worthless that he just breaks down and starts crying. And now the demon is trying to like console him and kind of build him back up again. And the demon actually leaves the little girl's body and reveals his name as Yamada. Like, you know what, Kiyoshi? Like, us demons have it pretty rough too. That's when Yamada realizes that he's actually outside of the girl's body. He's like, what the hell? I got extracted without even noticing it. And Kyoshi's like, yeah, like, you know, I was able to do that lickety split. I have been called the ultimate exorcist before, so now that like, you know, like once you were so nice to me, I wasn't really scared of you anymore. So I was able to use my powers to get you out of that girl's body. And Yamada the demon's like, you know what? Like, truth is, I don't even want to do this sort of thing. Like, I work at the Demon Realm's Department of Water Resources, and I got this message from Lord Mito, who basically told me that I had to possess this girl, and I either had to disobey or die. And like all my coworkers were jealous because they all wanted to go to the human surface, but I don't. Like I got a wife, I got a kid. All I want to do is just go to work and then come home to my family and hang out with them. My oldest just started junior high. I still have 300 years left on my loan. Like I don't want to be doing this. Kiyoshi like explains his troubles. He explains that you know, he got into this because when he was a kid, his parents were killed by demons, and that he's doing this so that no one else would basically have to go through what he did. And so, because of that, he did everything he can to become a great exorcist. He trained to within an inch of his life. He spent all like he would spend all day just training and working his body like crazy. He would spend all night just going through all the books that he can and just developing all this lore and knowledge on how to best demons and things. He would spend all his time trying to master his powers. And the one thing that he couldn't train was his heart. He can train everything, but he couldn't train how to overcome his fear. And now because of that, he'll never become a good exorcist. And we have like this really sweet moment where the demon Yamada is like, you know what? You were my son. I'd be very proud of you because you're facing your fears and you're trying your best. I think you got what it takes to protect others. That's not an easy thing to achieve, to go and face your fears. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. Like, anyone who doesn't know, I suffer from terrible anxiety. I have panic disorder. Well, what I have is I have agoraphobia with panic disorder. I have social anxiety disorder. I have been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder as well. It's a battle I got to deal with every freaking day. And it is freaking tough as hell to have to do things that you know will terrify you, that you know will like trigger your panic attacks. So for this guy, Yoshi, to go out there and face demons despite being absolutely terrified of them, yeah, that's a really tough thing to do. And so Yamada actually helps Kiyoshi. He's like, here, do this breathing exercise where you breathe in deep through your nose and you kind of hold it and then you exhale slowly through your mouth. And it's like, that's actually a technique that people with anxiety do. It actually helps kind of calm you down. It helps when you feel the anxiety coming. Like once the anxiety is full blown, it may or may not help. But yeah, deep breathing helps a lot when it comes to getting your fears under control. And after they have their sweet little moment, Yamada's like, all right, go ahead and exercise me. And Kiyoshi just starts crying again. He's like, I can't exercise you. Like, I want to exorcise demons that are harming people, but you're not doing anything. You just want to go back home. So why don't you just go back home? Go home real quick. I'll pretend I didn't see it and go say hi to your son for me. And Yamada starts crying. There's a lot of crying in this chapter. And then that's when this black goat shows up. and it turns out to be Lord Me Too. And Lord Me Too basically sent Yamada to possess this girl so that he can weaken her spirit, and Yamada can use that to get into our world. But the thing is that he can only stay in this world for like 10 minutes or so. He's like, all right, that's going to be enough to claim this girl's life and to wipe out everybody nearby, to cause some chaos. And of course, Kiyoshi is just completely terrified. Like, he basically passes out on his feet. Lord Midu is like, all right, well, Yamada, you can go away now. Like, you did what you needed to do. And Yamada starts walking away. And then he stops when he realizes that Mitu is going to basically obliterate Kiyoshi. And he just realizes that, like, Kiyoshi's a good dude. He was willing to let me go and meet my family again and not exercise me. And so Yamada basically jumps in and kicks Kiyoshi in the face, waking him up, and basically gives him like a prep talk. And Mitu just uses his powers to bisect Yamada in half. And seeing this causes Kiyoshi to lose his mind, because he's like basically has a flashback to seeing his parents being brutally murdered in front of him. And so he's able to work up the courage to fight against Mitu. Basically reveal how badass he actually is. He is an ultimate exorcist. Mitu sends like a blast at Kiyoshi, and Kiyoshi absorbs it all and launches it back at Mitu and just starts blowing off parts of Mitu's body. And we have this like cool moment where he reveals like a tattoo that he has on his arms. Basically, both of his arms have like part of a cross, and his ultimate power is basically straight out of Ultraman, where he brings his two arms together in the cross, and the tattoos like form the cross. And he shoots this at Mitu and kills Mitu. And so Mitu's dead. He's able to use his powers to bring Yamada like back into his body again. The young girl is saved. The only damage is to the house. And yeah, Yamada's like, I still worry about you. You defeated Mitu. He's one of the 13 demon lords. But now that you defeated him, there's no way that the rest of the demon lords are going to just stand by. They're going to be coming after you. And Kiyoshi's like, well, I'll try to figure something out. If I ever get scared and my knees give out, I'll just start taking slow, deep breaths. Yeah, Kiyoshi starts leaving. He gets a call from his boss. His boss has no idea whatsoever that this guy is absolutely terrified of demons. In fact, he's like, holy cow, like, this was your very first mission and you already took out a demon lord? Like, that's insane. I expect a lot of great things from you. In fact, you're going to be assigned to Naraku City, which is where there are rumors of another demon lord. And Kiyoshi's like, all right, sure. And then on his way, he sees a hot spring that allows people with tattoos. And then we get this like awesome shot where we see Yamada and he's going back to visit his family, and his family's like excited to see him. And yeah, that's basically the very first chapter of Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. It's also another Exorcist comedy series, which I was kind of weird that Shounen Jump would do 2 Exorcist comedy series back to back. But I guess Yokai Buster Murakami is more of like a gag series where we basically just have Murakami just roasting demons verbally until they lose their spiritual powers and get captured. Whereas Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi is more of a battle comedy where we actually have fight scenes and stuff like that. So Kiyoshi actually battles Mitu in this chapter. It's just there's a lot of comedy involved too because of the fact that he's the ultimate exorcist, but he's also absolutely terrified of demons. So it's like he's going to be exercising the things that he's absolutely terrified of. But I thought it was great. I loved the little moments between Kiyoshi and Yamada. Like, I thought it was just going to be like a quick little gag where Yamada just gives Kiyoshi a pep talk and that was it. But no, like, it actually went a bit deeper than that, where they actually like shared a moment where Yamada reveals like his own hardships and how Kiyoshi reminds him of his son, and that's why he wants to help him out. And then even later on, at the risk of his own life and going up against his superior, Yamada like jumps in the way to take a blast for Kiyoshi. And it's like that was sweet and awesome. Like I like that relationship. And Kiyoshi himself is just hilarious. Like I'm one of those where I hate characters that are constantly like scared or crying or screaming all the time. That's why I could never get into Black Clover, just because the main character is just constantly screaming and crying. It was annoying. But here it kind of works because it's done in like a comedic way where Kyoshi's like, oh man, like I'm so in over my head. How did I get myself into this? I can't go back now. Like everyone thinks I'm super cool and badass. I got all these tattoos. Like this is basically my life. I have to do this. I can't do anything else. But this absolutely sucks. And yeah, it's hilarious. I enjoyed this. The artwork I think is really good. The fight scenes were kind of cool. Not as great as other battle shonens that I've seen, but maybe it's just because it was super quick. Maybe once we get like a longer battle, it would be cool. I don't have any complaints about this. This reminds me a lot of, like I said earlier, reminds me a lot of Soul Eater. Like just from the designs and stuff like that. Even the battles themselves kind of remind me of that a little bit. But yeah, I thought this was awesome. Like I actually really enjoyed it. And even if you're one of those people out there that are absolutely sick and tired of Exorcist manga series coming out on Weekly Shonen Jump, I still recommend giving this a chance. Just read the first chapter. If the first chapter doesn't get you, then don't continue. But don't go away from this just because it's another Exorcist series. Like give it a shot because it's really entertaining. I love like the artwork is great, fight scenes are great, character is awesome. Like I absolutely love this. I thought this was fantastic, and I highly recommend checking it out. It was funny, it was entertaining, had cool action scenes, and Kiyoshi is just a hilariously great character so far. But there you go. There's Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can read it for yourself. But I recommend giving it a chance. It's great. There you go. Hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.